Here we are back in the cockpit. We're approaching the Ventura VOR. You can see the Channel Islands off to the top of the screen. Now we're going to transition up the coast to Santa Barbara. You can see the airport just to the left of the nose. Now we're coming up on the San Marcos VOR, which is northeast of Santa Barbara. You can see some of our waypoints ahead. Below us is Santa Maria. You can see the airport to the left of the nose. And then Morro Bay. You can see the Morro Bay rock just below the left wing. So we are proceeding along our Jetway 501, and we are approaching the Big Sur VOR, and you can see our top of descent just below. And as we approach it, we're going to dial in our target altitude of 3,000 feet, which is the altitude where we intercept the ILS into San Francisco. So as we reach our top of descent, the throttles will come back, and you can see the thrust levels dropping. Our speed bug has also dropped, so we do not get into an overspeed condition on our descent, and our rate of descent is also down to about 1,000 feet per minute. Let's pull up our FMS and just check our waypoints, and you can see our target altitudes as we descend into San Francisco. Here we are over Big Sur. Next waypoint will be over Carmel. The intersection is called Carmi. And we begin to turn a bit to the right and head over Monterey Bay. There's Carmel and Monterey below us. You can see the Monterey Airport just off the right wing. And you can see a series of waypoints along our route on the MFD. As we cross the bay, you can see Santa Cruz off in the distance. Another view over Carmel and Monterey. And you can see Hollister and Gilroy off in the distance. And you can see Watsonville off the right wing. See the airport there in the distance. Just checking our waypoints along our route. You can see the San Jose VOR. And below us we have Scotts Valley. Mount Hermon's up there somewhere as we fly over Santa Cruz and the coastline, continuing our descent into San Francisco. Back in the cockpit, we check our MFD. We can see Menlo, which is our initial approach fix, approaching. As we cross the 10,000 foot level, we can flip on some landing lights. Might as well turn on our runway lights and taxi lights as well. And why don't we turn on the seatbelt sign? Oops, no smoking should have always been on. Let's zoom in on our MFD. The green arc represents where we will reach the 3,000 foot level, which is Sepin. Off in the distance somewhere is San Jose and the bay. Visibility is kind of low because of the sunset. And we are approaching Menlo, which is our initial approach fix. So we'll set our ILS frequency on 11.7. You can see San Jose off to the right wing. And now that I see my guide slope and localizer bugs, I'll click the approach button, which activates the localizer and glide slope modes on the PFD. That's the San Mateo Bridge off in the distance. Now we are over Menlo. We are at 4,100 feet, which is where we want to be for Menlo. We're going to drop some flaps. Again, we want to be to 3,000 feet when we cross Seppan. Palo Alto just off the tail. San Jose way off in the distance. San Mateo Bridge. You can see the airport off to the left. And as we cross Seppan and intercept the ILS, the aircraft begins to turn. We are at 3,000 feet. Notice the guide slope and the localizer have been captured. We've dialed our speed down to 200 knots. Drop another notch of flaps. And begin to slow the aircraft down. And you can see
2,500
that we have captured the glide slope and the localizer on the PFD. Flaps continue to come down. So we cross the outer marker, put down the gear. Drop some more flaps. Full flaps is 30 degrees. As the flaps come down, we need to add a little power to keep our speed up. We want to come across the fence at about 145, 140 knots. Just depends on how much load we have. The nose comes up. We need to increase our angle of attack. Give it a little more thrust. Our VASI lights show we're right on target. 2 white, 2 red. A view from the tower. You can see us approaching off in the distance. That arc at the top of the MFD is our go-around loop. Our PFD is showing our flare indication. The aircraft will automatically flare, land itself.
100.
touchdown. Apply some brakes. Reverse throttle. Oh, everybody seems to like that landing. And look for our turnoff, runway 28 right, as we head back to the terminal. As we taxi back to the terminal, we want to clean up the aircraft, retract our flaps, spoilers, check our lights, and here we are pulling into our gate, ending our flight from San Diego to San Francisco. Thanks for being on board. We know you have a choice.